All right, are you ready? Last 400 seconds? Okay, let's do it. I'm Matthias Einhoff. I'm part of the artist collective Kunstrepublik, as Samu mentioned. The collective is mostly working in public space. As part of our work, we try to get citizens involved in decision-making processes concerning their living environment. We realized in order to get people out of their "I can change it anyway" attitude and get them involved in urban planning, we need to create an initial big moment that helps to constitute a group. This moment can serve as a narrative that can be easily told and sticks in people's head. I want to give you 3 examples of different scale where we try to do this with different levels of success. Example 1, Russia, Ulyanovsk. Our collective was invited to the city to develop a site-specific piece for an abandoned park on the river Volga, which you can see in the background. The project was meant to discuss the future of the park, but the problem was the authorities didn't want a public debate, and people were reluctant to publicly speak out. So we developed a tool that would allow people to discuss while staying anonymous. We built an oracle that would do that job. So how does it work? We installed a sound system connected to a computer being able to read text messages. We gave out two telephone numbers, one number for questions, one for answers. So you would send your question via text message, like, will the park be developed for housing or leisure? And then a smoke bomb would be lit from underneath that structure, and the computer would read that message loudly. Then people would send their answers to the other telephone number, like, sure, for housing the rich and beautiful. And that would be spoken by the computer, of course. So the oracle was very popular because people could basically discuss without being identified. And the structure is still there and actively used by the citizens for gatherings. And this year the structure was renovated and kept as a forum for public debate. So the park has not been developed also so far. A second example is from Berlin, and this is a picture that shows one of the last wastelands in the city center of Berlin, which is gone now. Our artist collective was working on this space for many years. We were invited for a competition on planning that area. Before making proposals, we wanted to inform and activate actual users of that space. So, in order to create a narrative, we invented a ritual that looks like this. Together with all 11 local groups that we could find, for example, dog owners, kindergartens, urban gardening groups, and so on, and neighbors, we developed a symbol for each group which was printed on a flag. Now, in addition, we wrote an anthem that was played when the flag was hoisted. So every group got its own anthem. So actually we made use of elements that are used in mainstream sport events, in national celebrations, creating an image of big representation for these small groups. Then following these kind of small acts, each group was asked to present their personal statement or claim in regards to the development of that space. Therefore, we created this kind of tribune that you can see here with representatives of each group standing on this tribune. And this created a choreography that was filmed with a camera crane, and here's a camera on tracks, and in order to make a documentation that looks really monumental, really huge. So basically, as a result, we had a short film on the activities of people on that urban wasteland, and as a side effect, a group of people was constituted. So this group later got active in the planning process and was involved in the future planning of that space. Now, the third example, this is probably the most successful one in terms of impact, is the so-called Haus der Statistik. It's a former administrational building right on Alexanderplatz in the city center of Berlin. And these are basically 40,000 square meters. The building was constructed by the GDR government for gathering data and creating statistics. You can see it on the right-hand side. Soon after reunification, it was abandoned. and left standing empty for almost one entire decade. Our method to activate it was, once again, creating a narrative and constituting a group. We designed a construction sign, which you can see hanging, something that by German law you must have for new buildings. And the claim was, here we are building spaces for art, Kunst, culture, Kultur, and social activities, Soziales. The sign was taken down just hours later by the police, but the impact was enormous. Newspapers reported, and a group got together to formulate a concept for that building. In various public discussions, roundtables, citizens and experts from private and public institutions got together and discussed financial, legal, social, and cultural issues on how to organize this building, how to plan the building and the surrounding area. And step by step, in more than 15 public meetings between 100 and 300 participants, the ideas were outlined. The city of Berlin bought the building just 1 year ago and is now developing the area and the building according to this proposal that we developed over these 2.5 years. So basically, from starting with this kind of small sign hanging from that building, which was fake, to actually having a real construction sign, which you can see in the background, it took 2.5 years, with probably another 3 to 4 years until the building will finally be finished, and actually it will be open for art, culture, and social activities. Thanks very much.